Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Ha ha. Well, I had to listen to Mr. T before I could go live, of course, and then I had to do a little editing and review of some clips, and I got some interesting stuff. And I'm hoping that somebody out there. I didn't call it a homework assignment, but I said, take a look at Mark Levin's clip when he went off, when he exploded, and see what you all thought of that. So I don't know. We'll see if anybody did. We'll let some people get in the chats, and we'll see what's going on. And I hope everybody tea tonight with a sharp ear, really tuned in. And I think that some of the truths that he put out on Truth Social are historical. And I think his speech tonight is going to be in history books. I know it sounds like he's saying the same things over and over again, but he's saying it in context. He's saying it in no uncertain terms. He's thrown down the gauntlet. He called Jack Smith a coward, a thug. And he called that the whole entire apparatus. And he said that he would obliterate them when he wins, and he will win. So anyway, I see we got some people coming in the chat. Let me see what's going on. Let me see here. Haha, it's kind of hard to see. Hi, Lori, B-Dog, Robin. How are you? Bubba. Ingrid. So, we got a lot of people coming in. Hi, Diane. William. Wolfpack. Haha. Linda. Cheshire. How are you doing? Tennessee. Oh, yeah. That speech was awesomely American. If I could put that on the screen with this platform, I would, Tennessee, because I tell you, a lot of people say, oh, it's the same old thing. Like heck it is. You got to remember, we got that quiet fury we talked about in past broadcasts, and Trump has that quiet fury. He said, what they did to my family, what they did to me, what they did to this young man's family, what they did to this young man, it's not going to be forgotten, folks. Let me see. So, yeah, it was a great speech. It started off with that iconic song. And I can't play those clips because I got a copyright. But anyway, hi, Love to Garden. Hi, Debbie. Outlandish, how are you doing? Awakened. Ha. Jersey Joe. Maryland. Deborah. Diane. Let's see. We got a lot of people coming in. So, where's Georgia? She said she'd be here. Hi, Tyne. How are you? If I skipped anybody, please forgive me. I don't mean to. Hi, Henri. So, hi, Wanda. So, let's get on with what we've got going on. I was saying earlier, I hope somebody, I didn't call it a homework assignment at the time, but did anybody watch Mark Levin's, after I mentioned it, did anybody try to look at that up? Mark Levin exploding the first time he got on with Sean Hannity. I'm going to put a 5x5 if you did watch it, and put a 2x2 if you didn't watch it. Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a little something. A little something, something. Haha. Kim said, yep, I don't know if that's Deborah's. Did you all catch anything out of that? What did y'all catch? Let me switch my pictures up here. I'm going to put just a, let's see. I'm going to put a, here we go. Wait a second. Here we go. There's Jack, the thug, the bum. Let me get that out of here. There we go. Here's a clean picture. Just him after he's finished obliterating obliterating the deep state. And yet, in case y'all want that for your scrapbook, because it's coming, folks. It's coming. You might want to put that on Facebook. If you can type words and say it's coming. He's going to hire a special prosecutor 3 times. Yes, he did. Hi, Donna. Donna didn't get a chance to review it. Oh, my. Well, I'm going to go over it a little bit with you all because some things are important. Wake and Chilliam said, love, love, love him. Tennessee Watch, did y'all pick anything up? Because I'll play a short part of the clip. I'm not going to play the whole clip, but I got a couple of things I want to play tonight. It's on like Donkey Kong. Landon said, you got that right. It's on like Donkey Kong. So I'm going to play, let's see, I was going to put this on, there's Jack, this prosecutor, and guess what? Besides Trump calling him a bum and a loser and a criminal, a thug, he mentioned how Bob McDonnell, the governor of Virginia, got railroaded out and the Supreme Court overturned this character on the screen 9-0. Well, it was 8-0 because we were short one because of what happened to Antonin Scalia. I'm sure a lot of you remember that too. So anyway, all the cases that he had thrown out, he's a loser. He struck out more times, historic strikeouts, and he was going after people in government, and he was affecting elections by bullying and false charging people out of office. And Trump went down the list, and I'm curious to know if this guy was involved. I talked about in the past, and I'm going to do a show with a broadcast with this thread in the future. One of my, I cover multiple subjects per broadcast, but I am interested in whether or not he had anything to do with Senator Ray Stevens, senator from Alaska, who had his charges thrown out. And I'm telling you, if he was involved in that. Anyway, I want to play this young lady talking about, speaking of bums, criminals, liars, troublemakers. Let's see what Representative Luna's got for Adam Shifty Schiff. Okay, I put some comments in there while she's talking, not many. So I'll cut my mic off so you all can hear it, okay? She's always worth listening to.
And dishonorably on many other occasions, including by falsely denying that his staff coordinated with a whistleblower to launch the first impeachment of President Trump. Whereas part of his impeachment efforts during an HPSCI hearing on September 26, 2019, Representative Schiff recited a false concocted rendition of a phone call between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, whereas Representative Schiff exploited his position on HPSCI to encourage and excuse abusive intelligence investigations of Americans for political purposes. Whereas Representative Schiff used his position and access to sensitive information to instigate a fraudulently based investigation, which then he used to amass political gain and fundraising dollars. Whereas the American taxpayers paid $32 million to fund the investigation into collusion that was launched as a result of Representative Schiff's lies, misrepresentations, and abuses of sensitive information. And whereas it is determined by an investigation conducted by the Committee on Ethics that Representative Schiff lied, made representations, and abused sensitive information, he should be fined the amount of $16 million.
And that last words there that you see is from our favorite letter. Was the $7 million worth it? Adam, you can look that post up. Worth it, Adam. And you'll get that post. Ha, ha, ha. Yep, that's right, Wanda. He was sneaking classified info to Biden. So there's a motion to fine him $16 million. He contributed to the total disruption of Donald J. Trump's first term. He caused so much angst and division, almost as much as the thing in the arm, which probably never would have happened if they weren't headhunting our favorite president, right? Now, I saw an article where Jack Posobiec put it up. Let's see if I can find it, where they had planned to show up and disrupt. I might find it in here. I'll go through things one at a time for you. How many things they're going to be in trouble for. Here's a picture for you. I think somebody had a little talking to the artist. Remember the last time they put this horrendous meme of Donald Trump, and the media kept posting it up there, Trump looking like an angry person who'd been caught, all this nonsense. But anyway, somebody had a talk with a sketch artist, I think. What do you think? Excuse me while I have a drink of my coffee. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, yeah. I think they had a talk with that. Hi, Georgia. You made it. How you doing? Bambi, how are you doing? So anyway, it's a much more reasonable picture. And let me see if I can find right here. What is this? What is this? Oh, breaking. Police investigate suspicious package outside Miami courthouse as Trump set to face charges. So that, and a report was put out that there were plans to have a big celebration by the Screwballs. A screwball celebration. Well, I got a couple of clips. Let's see. Here's one screwball. Let's see. Is this one of them here? Yeah, this is the first one I saw. Here's somebody that doesn't have anything to do in their life. That's called a loser. Let's see. I got to get some of the stuff off my screen, or I won't be able to move stuff around. So this person, am I coming in okay, guys? Because my screen's frozen up. I don't know what's going on. Huh. That's odd. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. What I got up there? Nothing. I'm still here. I'm just trying to get this picture to move around. But it doesn't want to move. Doesn't want to expand. Doesn't want to do nothing. That's frustrating. But this is a guy. Did you all see the... Everybody's got 5x5. Well, my screen is frozen for some reason. And that really has me upset. Let me see if this one works. Let me see how this one comes in. There we go. This is afterwards. He jumped in front of the motorcade, and if I get that clip to play, I'll play it. But here's this guy dressed in some kind of cheap prison uniform trying to make fun of Donald J. Trump. Eat dirt, buddy. Kiss that concrete. What a loser. Well, they're treating him with kid gloves. Who's going to jail? You or Trump? I guess it's you, buddy. You're already dressed for it. I was talking while I was filming that. I didn't even realize I had my mic on. I was saying, eat dirt, buddy. Who's going to jail? So let me see if this one play. Here we go. This is when this is how the news reported it, folks. This is when I was going to play first, but my screen was frozen. But I'll go ahead and play it now. Wait a second. I got to cut my mic off or it won't play right for some reason.
Nada, who's a co-conspirator here, is Donald Trump's personal valet. How does that work?
Not just Donald Trump, who has to take his security very seriously when it deals with this case.
Thank you for confirming that Jack Smith was there. Ken Delaney believed he recognized the people that are witnesses work for Donald Trump. There's lawyers, there's Secret Service, there's aides at Mar-a-Lago. Walt Nada, who's a co-conspirator here, is Donald Trump's personal valet.
Yeah, that's right. The seal has been broken, Georgia. They're all fair game now, all of them. And I'm going to play that clip. Let me see. Did anybody catch anything or what I was talking about? Let's see. Potato Head. Now that's that was the big protest, a big celebration. They're going to have one idiot running around in a cheap prison uniform, ended up with his nose rubbed into concrete and then gets drug off to jail. So, yeah, keep it up, guys. You're doing great. But anyway, I got let's see, we got something here, right here, that I didn't get to put up the other day. Since it's all on the table, right? Since Pandora's box has been opened, since the seal has been broken, since they've crossed the Rubicon, new emails expose client of Hunter visited with VP Biden, Obama White House often. Ha ha ha. Somebody pointed out something very astute, that stuff like that wasn't going to be happening without Obama's knowledge. And while we're waiting for them to come out with their aliens, we're waiting for them to come out with their sunspots, we're waiting for them to threaten World War III or even actually start it, they're still continuing with this. This operation is essential to them. A NBC News Dem-aligned groups launch campaign to keep Supreme Court front of mind 2024. So they're going to continue with their attacks on Clarence Thomas. But I want to get back to Mr. T. Let me see here. This was whichever one, I think it was Jake Tapper. Let me see. This creep, yeah, CNN. All right. Watch how he handles this, and then I'm going to play another clip from FOX News, okay? So we won't be too hard on Fox News. But let me show you Jake Tapper, and then I'll play another quick clip from Fox, okay?
National security laws and then obstructing and refusing to cooperate with the FBI.
Whatever this spectacle is that's unfolding before us, let's remember what this case is about. Let's remember what this indictment charges. Again, Donald Trump is charged with a series of federal felonies for mishandling the most sensitive government documents that we have and for obstruction of justice, along with Walt Nauta, who is charged with intentionally setting up lies to the grand jury, to the FBI. Any way you look at this, and again, despite whatever may be going on in that restaurant, this case isn't going to be settled legally in a cafe. It's going to be settled in the court based on the facts and law.
The folks in the control room, I don't need to see any more of that. He's trying to turn this in. He's trying to turn it into a spectacle, into a campaign ad. That's enough of that. We've seen it already. Let's go over again the 37 charges that Donald Trump is facing right now. We don't have to go into each one.
Sure, but Ellie, if you could basically detail what are the allegations here? We have counts 1 to 31.
He had a little fit. Made him cut the cameras off. Everybody was giving thumbs up and cheering, and Fox News kept playing it. And DJT, during his speech tonight, he said, I think other news services covered all the love I was receiving, and they sure did. Now it's a day early, but they all sang happy birthday to him. Jake Tapper had the screen cut off. But anyway, let me put this up. I tell you, it was the most historic. Let me go out of the studio to get it. I put it on my community page last night. It was the most historic truth that Mr. T has ever put out. And I went to great pains to copy it and highlight certain things. Here we go, right here. Let me add that. And, you know, he does things very literal. You got to take him literally, and you need to learn to read between the lines. This is what I put up on my community page. It says more, but I'll get right to what I think is really important. A real special prosecutor. And he said that tonight. As somebody in the chat said 3 times, a real special prosecutor. Really special. Okay? And then a lot of you might have tuned out last night. I brought this up last night at the end of my broadcast. Why did he put quotation marks on prosecutor? You do that when you're thinking of a similar term, okay, quote, prosecutor. And that not only is it going to go after Biden's, but I highlighted all others involved with the destruction of our elections, borders, and country itself. A real special prosecutor. Okay, so we'll see who's really special. Removing all of the, quote, criminal elements. Okay? So that's a lot of criminal elements just domestically. Okay? So now let's see what else Mr. T said about Jack. Let's see. What's he got here? Wait a minute. Let me go through some of these articles just for update's sakes. New York Times targets actor Cheryl Hines, wife of Robert F. Kennedy, quote, normalizing dangerous ideas. Oh my, you see, well, they're ignoring Robert Kennedy, right? They're saying there's not going to be any primaries. There are not going to be any debates. And that's what the left calls democracy. Oh, why don't they want to talk about Robert Kennedy? Robert Kennedy wants to talk about the stuff in your arm, right? What's her face from the CDC was getting drug over the coals today, okay, over her actions during the so-called lockdowns. But that aside, Trump was asked by Roger Stone about the CIA's involvement in JFK's death. He said he was asked not to disclose all of it, but that, quote, it's time. And that he would release it as soon as he gets into the Oval Office. So, yeah, they're going to be they're going to be staying away from Robert Kennedy like the plague, the actual plague. And it's not going to help them. Okay? Here we go. Here's a good meme for you guys. Oh, I didn't get to crop it down, but it's still good. Bribing president. So y'all get a screenshot of that and start sharing it around. Now, Facebook was taken down. I can't say some of them here on this platform, but some of the memes I've shown in the past on Bumble. And they can't take this one down, okay? Because we got proof. We got reputable sources. We've even got the regular mainstream media alluding to these bribes. And let me find this one from, oh, wait a minute. I got a message. Hold on. Let me see. Well, let me get this one down. I want to put up something about, already put up the, something about what DJT said about Jack Smith. Oh my goodness, where is it? He kept saying, who's Jack Smith, okay? These things are so tiny. Well, I tell you, people were talking about between Robert F. Kennedy and then Free Press put up Tucker Carlson's commentary on Trump indictment, episode 3. That was today. I didn't watch it because we're on the same, our boats are going in the same direction, okay? Me and Tucker. And he said America's principles are at stake. Well, I can tell you this. The video that a lot of people have seen where they show these different countries saying they submitted. Saudi Arabia submitted. Brazil submitted. On down the line. You've seen it. And I've shown the sword dance a dozen times in my past videos. With this statement by Tucker Carlson, America's principles are at stake, that's true. But these other countries and their leaders and their military, okay? I said this was a joint military, worldwide military police action. I've said that for over a year. A joint military police action. International. America's principles are at stake, but all these countries know our civilization is at stake. Okay, folks? Worldwide civilization. And as the Saudis said to the Russians, the next thing the West is going to try to do is marry animals. And that there are people in leadership in the West grunting in anticipation. We've already demolished, or they have tried to demolish, through drugs, through the cult of not knowing who in the heck you are. They've already demolished a lot of our culture. Now, this is a good meme for you all to copy. 10 times more kids passed away from opioid and fentanyl overdoses than, quote, assault rifles in 2021. Wake me up in November if it matters to you, Democrats. But anyway, those countries, they said submitted. No, I'm going to say they got on board. They got on board. They had their ships going in the same direction. All ships going in the same direction. They didn't submit. India, all these places, they got on board and they acknowledged Trump as our leader. So that's what I have to say about that. Let me see what this message is real quick. I stand by the real truths. The Cat on YouTube. And someone, and Gary, I believe, Gary got me a bunch of coffees. Let me hit the my buttons. Boom. I'm going to hit a boom here. Pow. Pow. Thank you, Gary, for the Buy Me a Coffee link. This is a viewer-supported and creator-supported channel only. I don't get any, I got to hold the effect continuously. Pow. Pow. Let me hit some of these. Pow. And I've got a buy me a coffee link in the description if anybody wants to help me out. I'm not going to go through to get my, yay, and here's a bird. I'll make a bird fly by. I appreciate it, Gary, very much. Here comes the bird. I'm not giving you the bird. I'll just make one fly by. But anyway, I appreciate any help you all can give for me. There we go. And if I had a picture of Biden up, I'd put this one up. Wait a second. Kaboom! Kapow! Bang! But anyway, yeah, all those countries, some of them, yes, they submitted. But their militaries are all on board with us. And if you go down the line, every country that is with what's called the alliance, you'll see that it's true. Okay, folks, I'm going to play Mark Levin real quick. You all keep your ears open, okay? And Mark Levin, as I have said in the past, Mark Levin worked for Ronald Reagan's Justice Department, okay? He was an attorney with the DOJ under Ronald Wilson Reagan. Now, he wouldn't know me from a stack of wood now, I'm sure, but I've talked to him in the past. I've also talked to G. Gordon Liddy. You talk about a blast from the past. Robin will know what I'm talking about there. But I also am friends. I'm still friends with someone who worked with him at the Justice Department. So he is a former White House official, okay? But anyway, with that in mind, let's go ahead and play some of this. And I'm going to tell you something about this clip before I play it. Many of you who have been watching FOX News in the past know that Sean Hannity has a terrible habit of interrupting his guests right when they're getting ready to say a very special word or finish a sentence. He cuts in with stuff that he says every night, 6 or 7 words in a row. Cheating, rotten, no good, blah, 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 and interrupts his guests. Well, before I didn't put this in, but before this, Sean Hannity said, I'm going to let you finish, or I'm going to leave you uninterrupted, something like that. Somebody put a bug for this particular interview in Sean Hannity's ear to keep his mouth shut, okay? And that's very encouraging and shows some hope for Fox News. I like Sean Hannity, but he interrupts his guests and he can be repetitive. But that being said, let's listen to Mark Levin.
President Trump is 76 years old. If the Department of Justice gets his way, he will die in federal prison. Just by one of these counts, conspiracy to obstruct justice, which has a 20-year maximum sentence. This is a disgusting mark on American history for the future to come by these bandits in the White House, by the Democrat Party that don't play fair anymore. They don't want to just win elections. They want to take control of this country. They want one-party rule. And they have used the Department of Justice and the FBI to get what they want. Merrick Garland is a mob lawyer. That's what he is. Jack Reed is a rogue Soviet-style prosecutor. The Presidential Records Act is not a criminal statute, and it was never intended to be. The Espionage Act of 1917 was passed under Woodrow Wilson, another corrupt president. Woodrow Wilson used it to go after his adversaries, and they imprisoned 2,000 people. So I suppose over there at the Department of Injustice, and this clown prosecutor spent a lot of time at The Hague, they probably figured these laws could be used to try and entrap Trump. All these obstruction issues that they claim, where the former Attorney General, Bill Barr, comes up here and bloviates about it, and all the formers coming on talking about obstruction. They have them on obstruction. There'd be no obstruction issue of any kind, not even in anybody's imagination, had they not criminalized this case. This is a document case. A document case where a president of the United States or a former president faces 100 years in federal prison. Is this some kind of a sick joke on the American people? Joe Biden says he never told them what to do. Joe Biden had to sign off on that's becoming a National Archives case to have it go to the Department of Justice. Who does he think he's lying to? The American people? This is a guy that's got documents from the time he was in the U.S. Senate, for God's sakes, in his garage. I don't want to hear from the legal analysts the technicalities about false statements and obstruction. This should never have been a criminal case. Willful retention of documents. Well, what's the unwillful retention of documents mean? They're throwing all these process crimes and all these crimes that grow out of the criminal investigation against Trump. What did he do with the documents? Did he sell them to the enemy? No. That's why we have an Espionage Act, not to trick up a president. What did he do? Did he burn them all? No. The government has all the documents back. So there is no violation of the Presidential Records Act at this point. But they throw the book at him. They go after his attorneys. They make them testify. They're attorneys under the crime fraud exception to attorney-client privilege. That means he didn't have due process. His own lawyers were being subjected to interrogations. And they had hundreds of in-person people testifying in front of grand juries. Thousands of collections of documents for what?
For what? And they indict him today?
Okay, folks, I'm just going to ask you if anybody heard anything, but I'm going to let him keep going. But I got to interrupt this. I can't play a clip without putting my 2 cents in. But and there's going to be another tidbit in here, but or one has already gone by. Didn't anybody catch it? And I'll go over it again when I'm done, and you all will be very surprised. Okay, so let's let Mark continue.
They indict him today in Miami. All of a sudden it's in Miami. All of a sudden we have a Florida grand jury because the moron in Washington figured out that there are venue issues that could lose him his case. This guy, this prosecutor, he lost 8-0 in the U.S. Supreme Court when they overturned the conviction of the former governor of Virginia because this jerk took a statute and expanded it. A jury in North Carolina wouldn't convict John Edwards because this jerk took a campaign statute and expanded it. And he's taken this case and he's undermining the country and he's interfering with a presidential election. And let me be clear, as Jarrett said, the Attorney General of the United States made this final decision. This is not the independent counsel statute. This is a special counsel appointed by the Attorney General under a Department of Justice regulation. This Attorney General, who pretends he's Helen Keller, he made the decision to indict the former president, and they made the decision to interfere in this election. You want to talk about an insurrection? This is an insurrection, and that's exactly what's going on here. Let me go on. Joe Biden is the crookedest crook that's ever been in the Oval Office. Everywhere we look, there's a predicate for a special counsel. They won't appoint a special counsel, even though it's compelled under the law in which they appointed this special counsel. And you're not supposed to appoint a special counsel against your political opponent. You're supposed to appoint one in the case of Biden. 20 shell corporations. $10 million coming from the communist Chinese military, spread out among the family. No businesses to support this. Endless meetings with Biden's, with Hunter Biden's business partners. Bobulinski, who ties Joe Biden to the crimes. Mr. Big, Mr. 10%. And what does Biden say? Well, then where's the money? He's asking us, come and catch me if you can. The idea that this...
I know there's a delay, folks, but I'm checking the chats to see if anybody caught anything. But anyway, I will, when these finish with this rant, I'm going to play it right up to the point if nobody gets it. But he's made a lot of points about the bribe money, about a special counsel, about Tony Bobulinski, who said he has the highest clearance in the land, okay? And he said the letter twice, okay? But anyway, I'll let him finish up.
document case to go after Donald Trump is sickening. And I would say this to our fellow Americans. Don't be bamboozled by these cable channels and these fools who come on and tell you, well, he's not above the law. Are you kidding me? Democrat Attorney General in New York, Democrat prosecutor in Manhattan, Democrat prosecutor in Atlanta, Democrat Attorney General in Washington, D.C. What do you mean he's not above the law? There is no law. What's going on here is a disgusting disgrace. It is war on Trump. It is war on the Republican Party, and it is a war on the republic. The radical left is doing what the radical left does while they cover up for Biden the way they covered up for Hillary. If Donald Trump is to be charged like this, Hillary Clinton should have been charged with 10,000 counts of obstruction because that's how many emails she destroyed. And 5 counts of destroying cell phones, because that's how many cell phones they destroyed. I'm done, and I'm sick of it.
Ha ha, way to go, Mark. Ha ha. But anyway, let me see here in the chats if anybody made a comment about what. So you see a picture of Abraham Lincoln there right behind him, don't you? He's got Abe. Yes, that's right, Gary. Rush Limbaugh would be so proud. Ha ha, that's right. He started it all, didn't he? Oprah started the daytime liberal BS, and Rush Limbaugh came through with a drive time conservative side. So I'll tell you, I always say a pat on the back is 18 inches away from kicking the behind, right? But I was telling Nikki one night, I think it was on one of her shows, and Nikki, I watched part of your show tonight, but I was trying to get this stuff ready. But anyway, I was saying how I put in a comment and in a video that Donald Trump did not obstruct justice. He obstructed injustice. And I swear, as sure as I'm sitting here, Geraldo Rivera repeated that same comment on Fox News the next day. Well, don't you know, I did a thumbnail on one of my recent videos that said something. And Donald J. Trump's attorney was giving an interview where I think he told George Stephanopoulos, nice try. Well, George Stephanopoulos was getting very snotty with this attorney. And the attorney said, after Stephanopoulos said, isn't it true that no one's above the law? He said, well, it's true that Donald Trump should not be below the law. And I had that very exact saying in my thumbnail. But anyway, I wasn't going to bring that up, but I thought, what the heck? Anyway, let me see if anybody caught anything from Mr. Levin, because I'm going to expand his picture and I'm going to play it again just a couple of minutes, because we did hear a lot of good information, a collection of issues that we're going to be hearing. Wait a second, I got another message. Love to garden. Ha ha ha. Love to garden. Kicked in the coffee crowd. That's great. Love to garden. I appreciate it. Hey, let me hit these buttons here. No, I don't want to blow up Mark Levin. I want to set off fireworks. Pow, pow. Hey, and send a bird flying by. Anyway, thank you, Love to Garden. I appreciate that. But anyway, let me check because there is a delay. I want to make sure that nobody caught it. And they do. I've left message. Frozen. Wait a second. I can only go back so much, but I tell you, that's an inspiring video. See chat. It's hard to see chats through my pictures, Robin. Oh, you can see my chats through the pictures. I don't know how I did that. Robin said, Mailman, see chat through your pics. I can't talk while a video's playing because it breaks up the video, and Heem said it is going to pop. Wanda says special prosecutor. I think it's going to be a special commission. I think half of this stuff is going to be civilian, and there will be a special prosecutor, but half of this is going to be military charges. My chat in pics is causing issues. Oh, I can't do anything about it. Robin, let me see. Is it still there? Is it still there? Let me know, because I moved the chats off my screen, and I'll slide them back over. But I'm going to play this again to see if you all caught what I was talking about. Let me gear him back up again. Okay. Let me see. Yes. Okay, well, I'll take the chats off while he's playing. I'll start him from the beginning and see if you all catch it, okay? And maybe I'm crazy, okay? Maybe I'm a crazy old man. Let's see. Cut my mic off.
President Trump is 76 years old. If the Department of Justice gets his way, he will die in federal prison. Just by one of these counts, conspiracy to obstruct justice, which has a 20-year maximum sentence. This is a disgusting mark on American history for the future to come by these bandits in the White House, by the Democrat Party that don't play fair anymore. They don't want to just win elections. They want to take control of this country. They want one-party rule. And they have used the Department of Justice and the FBI to get what they want. Merrick Garland is a mob lawyer. That's what he is. Jack Reed is a rogue Soviet-style prosecutor. The Presidential Records Act is not a criminal statute, and it was never intended to be. The Espionage Act of 1917 was passed under Woodrow Wilson, another corrupt president. Woodrow Wilson used it to go after his adversaries, and they
imprisoned 2,000 people. So I suppose over there at the Department of Injustice, and this clown prosecutor spent a lot of time at The Hague. They probably figured these laws could...
Okay, folks, I had a little trouble stopping the video there, but let me see. I'll move the screen over out of the chats. I'll put a picture up, but did anybody catch anything? Did anybody catch anything? Here, I'll put this one up. And I'll move it out of the way of the chat so I can read the chats. Let's see. I know there's a delay. Nobody caught it. Kerry said, I'm going worldwide. The pin, Jersey Joe said no. Oh my. Well, I'm excited about it, but maybe because I'm just a crazy old man. But I will stop it. I've been hanging on to this for days and days. And I will stop it the second, as soon as I can. There's a little delay, but I will play it one more time, and I will stop it quicker this time. I will stop it quicker. So let me shrink this down because I had a problem stopping the video. I'm going to play it one more time, and you all tell me if I'm crazy. Deborah said another rogue president. Deborah also said 1917. Okay, I'm going to play it again, folks. Did I reset it? I think I did. I'm going to stop it as quick as I can at the salient points. And you all will say that mountain man's crazy. Go soak your head, mountain man. Ha ha.
Prison? Is this some kind of a sick joke on the American people? President Trump is 76 years old. If the Department of Justice gets his way, he will die in federal prison. Just by one of these counts, conspiracy to obstruct justice, which has a 20-year maximum sentence. This is a disgusting mark on American history for the future to come by these bandits in the White House, by the Democrat Party.
That don't play fair anymore.
Now listen up, folks, because it's coming. Listen up.
They don't want to just win elections. They want to take control of this country. They want one-party rule. And they have used the Department of Justice and the FBI to get what they want. Merrick Garland is a mob lawyer. That's what he is. Jack Reed is a rogue Soviet-style prosecutor.
Did you guys catch it that time? I caught it the day he made the tape. Did you all catch it? I'm looking at the chats. Oh my word, nobody caught it? Or my chats froze. Let me see. Somebody said Jack Smith. One party rule. He didn't say Jack Smith. Jack Reed. Jersey Joe got it. Jersey Joe. Now, how many times has Donald J. Trump put up in True Social and on his speech tonight, who is Jack Smith? I saw where somebody put up the discussion about his name being disclosed earlier. I don't know if I have a copy of that article. Let me see if I do. That calls him by another name. And maybe Mark Levin got mixed up, right? But he said Jack Reed. And I don't care how you spell it, R-I-E-D, R-E-E-D. Let me use my fingers. J-1-A-C-K, that's 4, R-I or R-E-E-D. That's 8 letters. Stealth bomber. Some people are doing things because they have to, not because they want to. Now they have submitted and will do as they're told. Those who have resigned or stepped down from their positions, which Jack Reed did after the Lois Lerner fiasco, and he got shipped off to Europe. Shortly thereafter, Hillary got put in an awkward position in France, where I last heard Jack Reed was recovering from a bicycle accident in France. But a couple of years back, he was over in Europe with The Hague, and they made her sit at a replica desk of JFK, surrounded by stacks of emails, supposedly as a joke, and you could tell she was upset and didn't understand what was going on. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Mark Levin just said a different name by accident. But he's a sharp man. And if you play that back or come back in this live stream and play it back for yourself, you'll clearly hear him say, Jack Reed. And that's got 8 letters and a stealth bomber nobody is supposed to see coming. Oh, okay, Georgia. Yeah, I guess that is worth checking out. RIED2. That's another form of spelling. Prototype. Yeah, Mr. Trump. We already played a lot of people singing happy birthday to him. So, yeah, folks, to me, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And he berates, even if it's a black hat that has to work with the white hats. And they're doing what they're told. He still berates them. Just like we know John McStain did it as he was told. But Trump berated him, and rightfully so. And we all know where McStain's coming from, right? I don't think it's any relative of Harry Reid's. Might be. Oh, I see the spelling. REID, yeah. But if Mark Levin did not misspeak, that means Jack Reed's got 8 letters in his name, for whatever that's worth. And I tell you, Fox News put out something today, I think, to remind people that it's going to come back up. 22 U.S. service members hurt in a helicopter incident in Syria. He started by saying, what are soldiers doing in Syria, you ask? Remember, Donald Trump ordered them all out. And after he left office, people were bragging that they ignored orders from the commander-in-chief and left 900 servicemen in Syria after Trump ordered them out. So we're being reminded of that. And the people that did that are being reminded also. So Fox News is doing little sneak-ins there that we ought to pay attention to. But not all of them, that's for sure, because here, take a look at this meme. Things adults should stop believing in. Ha 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 ha. Are chats still showing up on the screen? Is it probably the first, might be the first couple of chats that came up. I've got to make the picture smaller then to get them out of the chats. And here's something else DJT put up. We all got to keep in our mind. It's a lot to keep in mind, but when you get a little something that cuts a light on, it's exciting, isn't it? Donald J. Trump, has anyone seen this man? Biden's special counsel, Robert Hur, appears to have vanished. Somebody better check to see if he's hanging from a shower curtain or something. And that's sad to say, that's not really a joke. Because this movement where we've got so many young people suffering and so many families being broken up and destroyed. You know, the mother of Audrey Hale was overwhelmed from what I'm hearing. Audrey Hale, the one who committed that atrocity in Tennessee. That cult, that belief system drove a deep wedge between her and her daughter that she couldn't overcome. And she's one of thousands of parents going through this. So here's what I talked about last night. You knew it was coming. California law would make it child abuse not to affirm your kid's gender identity. I don't know who this creep is right here, right? This thing right here. But if he's a proponent of that, okay, with his Mark Zuckerberg haircut and pigeon fuzz beard, he needs to be incarcerated, okay? Like Trump said in speech prior to this one. Who would have ever thought we would have to fight for parental rights? Where have we let our minds go? Where have we let our minds go? And these countries and the military in these countries have been getting information about this undercurrent, this cult, this movement, how far it's infiltrated our government, and what kind of harm it's doing to our society. And I think Mr. T pretty much told them, you want to put a stop to it, you're going to go along with what I'm going to do. And they got on board. They didn't necessarily submit, they got on board. And the Saudis are totally making fun of Joe Biden. Anthony Blinken showed up. I don't know if I have that picture in here or not. He had a meeting with the Saudis, and they didn't even put the American flag behind him. But let's see what this article says. And they tried to make it look like with this Leave golf tournament, they tried to make it look like, tie it into Trump's classified records by saying he was selling it to the Saudis, but that backfired in their face. And I'll tell you why it backfired in their face. They couldn't get any active people in the intelligence community to sign off on anything like that, like they did. Like they signed off on that phony Steele dossier and the Hunter Biden lie, laptop lie, okay? Because they're terrified now. Because they see which way this is going. So they didn't tie this in with the Saudis, but they tried. They tried to put talking points in the media. But former U.S. ally Saudi Arabia embraces China as Crown Prince threatens Washington with harsh economic consequences. And this article alludes to back in 2017, Trump was received in Saudi Arabia with pomp and circumstance. A symbolic sword dance was staged in his honor as an ally. And during his visit, there was a concerted effort to bring about, I guess, the Abraham Accords. I don't have the rest of the article. But, yeah, I meant to do a compilation of media attempts to tie this documents case to Saudi Arabia. They tried to tie Trump to being a puppet of Saudi Arabia when they tried to make him go to war over Khashoggi. I mentioned that before. And they ignored the retribution that Donald J. Trump got for Kayla. Okay, I did a video on that. And that more Americans knew the name of a non-citizen, non-resident of this country by the name of Khashoggi than they knew of a young American citizen who was brutalized for months and then murdered by the person Donald J. Trump took out. And that goes to where Donald Trump looked dead at that bunch at the press briefing hall and told them they were the enemy of the people. So this is the kind of stunts that are being exposed. And I had this video too, but I've seen it played by other creators. The Assyrian parents, okay? The Assyrian parents. How do you like that shirt that kid's got on? Now or never. And boy, ain't that right. Boy, howdy, ain't that right. But if you've seen this before, it's only a couple of seconds. It's worthwhile seeing. This is what the Assyrian parents had their children do in response to this garbage they're putting out. I got to make this small because my chats are kind of in the way. But anyway, let's see.
we got a bunch of young kids here with their Arab parents, and they are stomping the pride flag here at the protest. The Arab community is sending a message, I believe, to the woke that they are not accepting of this, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Yes. Any message you'd like to send today? To just leave your kids alone. What? Yes. Leave the kids alone, she says, ladies and gentlemen. Leave the kids alone.
Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. So, yeah, keep trying it, folks, or creepos. I mean, not the rest of the world thinks it's insane. I'm sorry, I'm gonna fix that statement. The rest of the world knows it's insane. Okay, so I've got some 17 posts I'll go over on another broadcast. Let me see what's going on in the chats. Yeah, Canadian Muslim kids. Gary said EBS inbound. Do you think that's presidential broadcast, Gary? That's what I'm hoping for. My fellow Americans. Now, I'll go over real quick. I didn't make notes on it. I just got it in my head. Speaking of the presidential broadcast system, and if that's what Gary means, instead of an attack on the satellites, maybe, I don't know. But Trump said, and I went over this last night. A lot of you might have left the broadcast. Trump said we were in a very good position. When I was in the White House, when I had the presidency, we were in a very good position. It was a very good position. Now, that could be construed to say the presidency was a very good position. Later in that same statement, he said, now that position is no longer valid. Okay? And a lot of you probably remember me saying that last night. Well, in tonight's speech, he said, he was talking about Biden taking the documents. He said the difference was that I was president and he never was. I found that interesting too. And the crowd applauded. I was going to play a clip where when he fell down, I don't like doing that kind of stuff because, but with Biden, this is a special situation. But you definitely hear those cadets increase their applause and their cheers when he fell. He's got no respect. This crooked media cannot keep this farce up much longer. It's crumbling. The dam is bursting, it's cracking, it's busting at the seams. And I had a clip where a CNN crowd was going nuts, Jake Tapper, I think it was, about Trump's polls going up. Well, they think that's bad now. Wait till that dam bursts, and it's going to burst. So, here, let me clean some of this. Here we go. Here's I'll clean some of these pictures up since I've gone over an hour. I know a lot of you can't have to get up, but this is a Jack Posobiec. Did the Saudis just refuse to put up a U.S. flag meeting with Blinken? And remember, Blinken, his parents were very good friends with Georgie Porgy Soros, so much so that Soros named a hotel in Yugoslavia that he built after Anthony Blinken's parents. Well, I didn't get a screenshot of it, but Jack Posobiec said, I fixed it, and he photoshopped a pride flag behind Blinken, and that was a big laugh. Okay, so if you can imagine him sitting there with a pride flag behind him. And the other thing that's bubbling up that's very important, folks, I talked about how J.P. Morgan was responding to the lawsuit against them by pointing out that most of the government of the Virgin Islands was on the take, right? Well, and they put forth documents to show bribery, okay, payouts to the government in Virgin Islands. Well, J.P. Morgan settles with victims of Jeffrey Epstein. That was something else out of the blue. And I say, when stuff comes out of the blue, you take a look at it. Any association with him was a mistake, and we regretted, the bank says. Guess how much they settled for? I'll tell you, $290 million. But the key here is they entered into court records, retrievable court records. Who took the money, how much money, where it went. We don't know how many documents there were, how many names were there, but we know Joe Biden's brother, James Biden, owns property on an island right next to this man's island. Okay? So this stuff is going to start bubbling out. And I saw where back in 2018, this form right here, I know the chats are in the way, but it's hard for me to read. Unsealing order. Okay, folks? Whoa, I just hit a boom. I don't know how to get, okay, I see. Wait a minute. All right. Unsealing order. United District Court. Okay? District of New York. United States of America versus Anthony Weiner. This was in 2018. An attorney posted that people with a law license can go into a service that allows them to pull up documents that you and I cannot pull up. Okay? So he said everybody needs to get together. And this was in 2018. And key in the word unsealing order. Okay, right there in the middle. Unsealing order. Anthony Weiner. You've heard Mr. T bring up Anthony Weiner. You've heard it said that there was a lot of gross and disgusting things on his laptop. And how Mr. T said, I'd rather have it on Hunter's laptop. Okay, and I won't bring up the videos, and please don't put them in the chat so you guys know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, we'll talk about it on Rumble one night. Okay, but this was upon application of the United States of America and through the Assistant United States Attorneys Amanda Kramer and Stephanie Lake. It is hereby ordered that the search and seizure warrant and its attachment A, which were filed under seal on September 26, 2016, just before DJT won, right? Be and hereby are unsealed. So ordered. So these things can be pulled up. Let's see who that judge was. Denise Coate, United States District Judge. I had an article on her, Denise Coate. I think she just retired. Had a very good reputation. But anyway, yeah, so there's going to be documents popping up that can be made part of the public record if attorneys in good standing will do the proper searches for these types of things. So let's see. I don't know if I'm put I got a couple of 17 posts I'm going to save for a Rumble broadcast that are tied into that, but we will discuss them at a future time. And here is Senator Ted Stevens. Okay. And here is the judge that participated in railroading him. Let me put him up in a second. This judge right here. Do you all recognize this judge who helped railroad Ray Stevens? And do you know what his most famous case was after Ray Stevens? Historical case that adversely affected our system of government and undermined a duly elected president. There's Ray Stevens, and there's the person who tortured Ray Stevens. Ray Stevens was a senator in Alaska. Obama had won his first term. He needed one more Senate seat to do whatever he wanted in the Senate. They cooked up criminal charges against Ray Stevens. He was found guilty. He was tied up in the court, and he lost his Senate seat. He was convicted. It was later overturned and found that the Justice Department withheld exculpatory evidence. Ray Stevens later died in a plane crash. 70% of all plane crashes in the United States are targeted. Well, his tormentor, one who assisted the Justice Department in prosecuting him, is the same man who prosecuted General Flynn and refused to let the case go, even though there was no one there to prosecute it. So we'll get into that in some more depth. Those are things I have had in my studio for a while, but I never had enough time to talk about it, but I will in the future. So you guys stick with me. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. And here's an example of how, where have our minds gone? Right here. Megan Fox goes ballistic as claims she forced her sons to wear girls' clothing. She says, "You effed with the wrong witch." Transformers actress. Remember the shirt Audrey had on, Transformers? Anyway, actress Megan Fox raged at conservative influencer, threatening him with witchcraft after claiming he witnessed two of her sons have a breakdown over being forced to wear girls' clothing. Well, let me tell you, she thinks she's got some kind of mystical power. That's where their minds have gone. And they're going to find out where the power is. It's with we the people, with God's guidance. Dressed in the full armor of God. That's where the power lays, not with your stupid witchcraft. And then this right here is a reminder. They're restoring the church at Notre Dame in time for the 2024 Paris Olympics. Are we going to find out if Mike Shell was really in a boat drinking wine, watching Notre Dame burn to the ground? We're going to find that out. We're going to find out about 911. We're going to find out about JFK. Obliteration. Complete obliteration. Yes, Gary said, do Mountain Man a favor. And don't forget to like. Yeah, please do. It helps the videos get around. I appreciate everybody that's helping with Buy Me a Coffee. And I played a little video last night. I finished out. Let me see what we've got in here we can have some fun with. I won't play Laura again. Let's see. I've got a different selection of things I can play. Dan Scavino put out a clip of Donald Trump going through after he left in North Carolina, the rally, and he played Nessun Dorma. And I've been playing that off and on for over a year, folks. Can you believe it? I don't know. What is this one? I don't even know what this one is. Let me see. Oh my gosh, I can't put that up there. Holy cow. That is, I made a mistake there, folks. That's something I got saved up for another time, right? Oh well, I got myself in a little bit of trouble there. Let me see. I'm gonna go out of the studio. I'm gonna find something fun to go out on. What do I got on the screen? Notre Dame, yeah. Don't ever forget that, folks. That was a satanic ritual. I'm telling you right now, when they burned that church down. And it's not forgotten. It's not going to be forgotten. I didn't forget. We didn't forget. Are they going to put her in? And you know who I mean loosely by her. Let me see. I've got so many videos. Well, there's a 13-minute one. I don't even know what that's about. I can't put that one in there. And then I can't put the one of, I'll tell you what. I'll put up what's this one? Let me see what this one is. Oh, I don't know about that one. Just bear with me, folks. I'll put, maybe the definition of treason. Maybe that would work. Okay, folks, I'll put this one up. It's only a minute and some. Mr. T. Well, boy, I didn't know I had all these. Oh, I got a good one right here. Let's see how long this one goes. I'll put up a couple of them. I'll put a couple of them to go out on. I'm going to put up the definition of treason. And I'm going to put up Mr. T. All right, let's see. I'm outside of my studio, so if I'm messing things up, it's not on purpose. Here we go. The ABC, the people working for ABC, the producer that worked for ABC, helped Nancy Pelosi do her documentary on J6 is the same one who hid the information on Jeffrey Epstein, aided and abetted. And here's this young lady telling everybody that.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. Do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because he made his whole living blackmailing people. There were a lot of men in those planes, a lot of men who visited that island, a lot of powerful men who came into that apartment.
Oh, my mic was off. I'm sorry. This one I forgot about. This one is just like J.P. Morgan slipping in that information during a criminal trial. It's going to be available to the public. What J.P. Morgan put in about the leadership in the Virgin Islands. But here's one thing Matt Gaetz picked up on.
The mention of Hillary Clinton in the indictment.
Right.
I never would have believed that it would have been the DOJ and the government itself wanting to make reference to Hillary Clinton in this case because it gives President Trump's legal team the ability to conduct a great deal of discovery on how Hillary Clinton was treated and potentially even put before the jury these things. Now, normally a judge might say that is outside of the scope of these charges, but when you have the charging instrument referencing Hillary Clinton, yeah, don't you think that's a big
huge deal?
Yeah, folks, so don't forget that. Hillary's going to have her dirty laundry aired for everybody to see. And I'll go ahead and play Donald Trump talking about the T word. The T word. And with that, folks, you guys enjoy this clip. And I've always wondered to myself, the person on the, I could be wrong, but the person on the left, I'm not sure who that person is. Hi, Hilarious. How you doing? But this was pre-CVID, okay? And I think that person on the left was a friend of Donald Trump's who passed away. I'm not sure. But anyway, that we'll find out about that in the future. But anyway, I'll close out with this video with Mr. T. And don't forget that key word. He said, obliterate. Communists, Marxists, everything. Do yourself a favor and re-listen to his speech with a quiet fury and joy in your heart, because it's coming, folks. It might take a little while, but they're cracking under the pressure. And we don't know who's on our side, even if they don't want to be. Right, Mr. Jack Reed? So we'll see, folks. You all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Sir, the Constitution says treason is punishable by death. You've accused your adversaries of treason. Who specifically are you accusing of treason?
Well, I think enough people, and I think what you look is that they have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person. If you look at Comey, if you look at McCabe, if you look at probably people higher than that, if you look at Strzok, if you look at his lover, Lisa Page, his wonderful lover, the two lovers, they talked openly. You know, they didn't use their private server because they didn't want to get caught, so they used the government server. That was not a good move. He talked about the insurance policy just in case crooked Hillary loses, and that didn't work out too well for them. So you look at them, they want an insurance policy so that should she, for any reason, lose, remember, 100 million to 1. Maybe he said 100 million to nothing, but should she lose, we'll have an insurance policy and we'll get this guy out of office. And that's what they said, and that's what they meant. That's treason. That's treason. They couldn't win the election, and that's what happened. And that's what's happening right now, because without the treason word, I guess, but that's what's happening now. They don't feel they can win the election, so they're trying to do the 1,000 stabs. Keep stabbing. Let's have a financial. Let's have. And if you look, for $40 million, I would think, seriously, that Bob Mueller and his group of 18 killers have gone over my taxes. They've gone over my financial statements to a level that nobody has gone over them before, and they were not discussed even. They weren't even discussed or brought up. I have great statements. Okay, what else?